Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today for you guys is another Star Wars Mandalorian review, and also, hey, welcome to Star Wars Month. This is actually the first Mandalorian review that I'm going to be doing in Star Wars Month. The other three, of course, were before Star Wars Month started. Of course, Star Wars Month started on December 1st with my Galaxy Far Far Away tribute, and of course, every day that you've seen then, and of course in the future until the 24th, Christmas Eve, I will be doing that LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar every day. So you have all this cool stuff to look forward to, and today we're tackling Chapter 4 of The Mandalorian. I know I wanted to get this out sooner, but I had a lot of plans, I had a lot of stuff going on, and but here it is in Star Wars Month, which is no better time to have it. So, the first thing I want to get out of the way is that this is actually made by Bryce Dallas Howard, who is in, of course, in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and of course Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi. But she directs it. She's not in it, she directs it, which is crazy, because I didn't freaking know she directed it. I don't think she does direct, but it's still pretty cool to see nonetheless. She does a great job. Also, one more thing before I get into the review is that this, episode or chapter is, of course, from the LEGO set. There's a LEGO Star Wars set out now, which features the Mandalorian, Cara Dune, and, of course, I think Plutonian enemies, and of course an AT-ST Walker. So if you see that in the stores and you're like, hey, that's the Mandalorian, that's this episode. And of course, last thing is that this is going to be spoiler review. There will be spoilers in this video. So if you have not seen Chapter 4, Chapter 3, 2, or 1, or you haven't seen it all, again, please wait until you have seen them and then watch what I have to say on them. So again, with the Mandalorian Chapter 4, we have, of course, a village. And of course, this motherly figure trying to, save her daughter from an, AT-ST attack and Plutonian, I believe, attacker. So it's very, very tense. The beginning starts out really, really intense. Normally, when it says the Mandalorian, it goes doo 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 doo, that thing. And I did okay, whatever. But essentially, that didn't really fit with that theme. Normally, the first 3 episodes is very mellow, and then it blends right into that. It didn't this time. Not that big of a negative, because, again, the scene that we got is amazing, but, again, it doesn't really fit in terms of the music. But, all being aside, it is a great scene. Going on to that, of course, we have the Mandalorian going to this planet to kind of lay low from the enemies now that he's on the run for stealing the Baby Yoda figure, which, of course, we know is not Yoda now, but, Yoda's dead. As far as this, canon timeline goes. So essentially they go on to, essentially, like I said, lay low and hide out on this planet, and of course, maybe get some work, find some bounties. That's, of course, when they were into Cara Dune. Now, I was wondering why Cara, whatever I'm going to call her Cara, why Cara fights the Mandalorian. Just comes out of nowhere, she just, the fist fight, and they're punching, and then they kind of go like this with their blasters, and they're like, oh, what the hell, neat work. And, of course, okay, it's a cool action scene, whatever, but I never really... We don't understand why she fights him, and then, of course, they're talking at the table in the cantina, not cantina, but, the restaurant, and, of course, Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian and Cara are eating, and she tells him, hey, I thought you were part of, I thought you were the enemy, that's why I attacked you, that's why I went all crazy on you. So that explains it, and I like that. It wasn't just, oh, here's an action scene to, be cool and hip, here, this is why I'm fighting you, because I thought you were an enemy. Very simple, but it works. And, of course, then we also see, kind of the end of this episode, you see Cara and the Mandalorian kind of not only care for Baby Yoda, but also care for this village of people that are constantly being attacked by Plutonian and other, I think I'm saying that right, other, Imperial-type forces, of course, in AT-ST. And they're kind of just like, hey, you're here, we have a land, we have a farm area, these 2 dudes are like, hey, these 2 buddies are like, hey, we got, we need you to kind of help our, situation out. And he's like, all right, what's your pay? And they're like, oh, not too much. But I think the Mandalorian culture isn't really the best culture in Star Wars, but I do think that the Mandalorian, or Mando, I think he does, he has a heart. He saved Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. He likes Cara. He's going to help these people out, and he does. And of course, this leads to an awesome kind of like a training montage of Cara and the Mandalorian training all these people, and at the same time, we get character development from the motherly figure, who of course wants to kind of take the helmet off the Mandalorian and be like, hey, why can't you take it off? And of course, the Mandalorian tells Cara that the reason he can't take it off isn't some weird thing, they're going to shoot him or anything. It's basically because it's about pride and it's about the code, basically some kind of like strict code. The First Order, they all go like this, whenever something blows up or goes to crap. The Mandalorian thing is, this is the way, boom, boom, type thing, So it is part of his culture, I understand that, just like weapons. Weapons are part of his culture as well. It really does work. And again, this motherly figure kind of says, hey, this could work. You know, if you want to help us and we succeed, you can stay here. Baby Yoda can stay here, and you know everything can be fine. And of course, that doesn't really work out. And of course, like I said, there's a training montage, and this is the best part about the episode. We've seen Star Wars fights before with lightsabers and blasters and all that, but we've never really seen a good fist fight. You know, kind of like a Marvel fight in tone and scope. And it was really cool to see, you know, Cara and the Mandalorian are kind of in this tent full of Plutonian warriors, and they come in and they're punching and they're kicking and they're, you know, stabbing, you know, attacking the guys. It's really, really cool. It's great choreography, just like everything Star Wars, really, except for some of the prequel things, which I'll get into for my episode reviews. But all in all, this is a very well thought out and fun fight scene that we don't really see a whole lot of, you know, in Star Wars lore. Just fighting and punching. You know, it's more or less about lightsabers and blasters and all that. So it was really cool. Of course, like I said, training montage. They train the farmers to get ready with the sticks and the stabs and the blasters and all that. Of course, the motherly figure is just like a badass. She's like, you know, she's hitting this pan really fast. It's really cool. And of course, this leads to a fight where Cara and the Mandalorian are kind of trying to, you know, save the farm people. And of course, the AT-ST shows up and they try to get in the water. Stuff happens, and a lot of cool action things pursue. However, in terms of positives, like I said, your visuals look great. The AT-ST can look a little blurry and muddy sometimes. I don't know if you're saying that because he steps in mud. It looks a little weird. Of course, it is a TV show. It's not going to look as good as the new films. However, it's not bad, but it's noticeable how it isn't as on par to the films. Not that big of a negative, though. Of course, the training montage is fun. You know, it's not like Rocky or any type of, you know, it's not cheesy and lame. But the, you know, it does sell the fact that these people don't know how to fight. And we've seen this in the Clone Wars and some of it in Rebels TV show. You know, you get these people that can't fight, Anakin, whoever, Mandalorian, they help them train and, of course, fight, and they normally succeed. But the really cool thing, you know, like I said, the visuals are fine. The plot is great. I do really like the chemistry between the motherly figure and, of course, the Mandalorian. And, of course, Cara Dune is, of course, a new character, which is really awesome. She's a great character. I think she's Angel, I think, in Deadpool 1, I think. She's the one that punches Wade on the table. I think that's her. If it is, tell me in the comments. I'm pretty sure her face is it. She looks better in this one, of course. But you know what I mean. I think that's her. And, of course, one of the coolest things ever that I've always telling my friends, I'm always like, hey buddy, hey Alan, hey Jim, whatever. This is something I've always wanted to see in live-action Star Wars, movie, TV show, whatever. I want something from the animated show, either a creature or a character, or even a location maybe, to be part of the live-action world. Now, maybe Episode 9 we'll see Ezra or Ahsoka or Kaz, who knows, but with this going forward, this is, of course, early in the episode, or the chapter. Cara and the Mandalorian go into this diner, like I said, to eat. And that's kind of where she attacked them, as I mentioned before. And there's a fudging Lothcat. Lothcats are from the planet Lothal in Star Wars Rebels. They are canon. If you go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, there's a big shop where a freaking Lothcat is there and it's sleeping. The animatronic is so effing cool. It looks amazing. And but there's a Lothcat in this episode. CGI, of course, but it looks amazing. 100% awesome. You know, I flipped out in my freaking chair when I saw that. I was watching it, and I was like, whoa, there's a Lothcat, you know what I mean? Because it was only in Rebels, and to see that in the live-action canon is really cool, and I really hope they start doing that more with animation in live action. So that is of course, not really, I'm not going to count that as a positive, but as a personal preference, that is so cool. And if you see this episode, if you know Rebels, you'll know what Lothcats are, and of course they are, they're aggressive little buggers, but they are freaking awesome, and they look really cool in this episode. I really did enjoy that. So again, visuals are great, the plot is great, the romance element between the Mandalorian and the motherly figure is fine. Of course, she doesn't get the helmet off him, but you do, you see him take his Mandalorian helmet off as he's eating. Of course, you don't see his head, but, you know, it was like a big moment, you know, like, oh my god, it's off, you know, he never does that. Of course, he does say that he does take his helmet off when he's in solitude, or, you know, when he's resting, but that's, of course, not when he was around. But anyway, like I said, visuals great, plot great, story great, action scenes great, CGI for the most part great. There really aren't any negatives, aside for maybe the AT-ST looks a little muddy and kind of blurry when it moves, but other than that, that's just being a reviewer, that's me being a critic. I do think that it, you know, it can be better. Some of the things in this show, of course, aren't perfect, because, again, it is a live-action TV show, not a live-action film, so I'm assuming, like for, say, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Solo, whatever, that has a bigger budget than the Mandalorian TV show, but it still is a big budget for this show, and it does look fine, but again, it doesn't look awesome like the film, but it's not bad. So anyway, I'm going to give the Mandalorian, I'll give it, let's see, episode-wise, I'll give it a 9 out of 10, or if you want to translate that to, you know, an A, I really did enjoy it. Again, Bryce Dallas Howard, you did a great job directing this. I love the action scenes. I love how they're choreographed. I love everything about this episode. It really is cool. And I cannot wait for episode 5. Now, there are 8 episodes in season 1. I believe season 1, the 8th episode, will conclude on the 27th or the 26th of December, I'm pretty sure. But, of course, speaking of the 26th, if you have Disney Plus, you will notice that episode 1 through 7 is available, but episode 8, The Last Jedi, is not available. Which, and of course, Disney Plus is like, oh, watch all the movies before The Rise of Skywalker, December 20th. But guess what? The Last Jedi, which comes before The Rise of Skywalker, comes out the 26th. So that doesn't make sense. I'm sure they have a reason, a legal reason, whatever, to do it. But again, if you really love Last Jedi, if you just like watching all the films, that will be available on Disney Plus for you to watch on the 26th, which I believe is the same day episode 8 comes out for Mandalorian. I'm not 100% sure it's either the 26th or 27th, but it is ending this month in December. But again, I love this episode. Chapter 4 is the best so far. Again, Bryce Dallas Howard did a great job directing. Again, my only issue would be a little bit of the, CGI, but it's not bad. And of course, seeing a Lothcat is always a big friggin' plus. Those guys are awesome. So please tell me without any spoilers in the comments, because some people do just watch comments and leave. Not the whole video, so that's that. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying Star Wars Month. I'm freaking loving making it. And again, I will be having some awesome content coming. So if you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you become notified of whenever things go live. Star Wars Month, or of course in January when we resume normal franchise fanatic stuff. Assuming my channel doesn't get deleted because of the a-holes in charge of YouTube. Anyway, I love this episode. Again, I really did enjoy it, and I can't wait for episode 5. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you.